We started ours a little bit late because we were having a huge pool party and cookout and all that, and so we were cooking food. And I already started getting texts, and I just read one of them, and I was like, started crying because I was so excited. And the reason why is because our company is so incredibly generous. So when somebody gets started and there's something like an incentive trip on the hook, and it takes about a year to get to the level of earning that trip, and they get started in the middle of the earning period, they go, well, I could never do that, so why would I even try? And every person I say, I'm like, you never know what they'll do. Just run. Try to get there. If you miss, who cares? You'll make a lot of money along the way. But, they announced that national marketing directors get to go on the trip, regional marketing directors get to go on the trip, and executive directors with 60,000 in volume get to go on the trip, which is basically like anybody in the room could just get their tail to work. Like, if you're driving your car and I don't see you in Cancun, like, something's wrong with you. Like, you should go. Like, go, go, go. Make all this month about just not missing it. Not because, like, the trip to Cancun is going to be, like, the most, fun that you've ever had, which it might be. Puya Banya, two-star national marketing director, always says, like, the trips are the funnest because it's, like, free alcohol and free alcohol and free alcohol. I'm like, Nick gets his money worth on the trip, okay? Like, I'm not kidding you about that. But not because it's going to be the most fun thing in the world, but the relationship that you're going to build. That's what changed our whole business. So when I get into recognition, the very new person, the reason why I start with that is because if you're a brand new brand partner, you're earning the cruise. The next trip's the cruise. We already know it. So you don't have to go, well, why is she talking about a trip to Cancun that's going to happen in August that I can never get? Well, guess what? Right now, if you do the same thing that the person's running for the trip to Cancun, you can just sail away with us in 2015 on that Nerium cruise. It's already there. We already know what it is. It's not a surprise. So if you're here thinking, that's so cool, well, I wonder what would happen next year. Well, we already know what's going to happen. We're going to be on a huge boat, same thing, sipping a lot of free alcohol, eating a lot of food, and hanging out with our friends and building relationships of a lifetime. I remember we walked back into the room probably on the third day of the trip, and I just got really teary-eyed, and I was like, Nick, I can't imagine if we didn't do this. Like, and I almost didn't. Like, just out of fear and negativity towards, like, the doubt of if it would work. I was like, but we've just met 4 couples that are going to change our kids' lives. They're going to be people, like, I'll just cry thinking about it, that, like, when they're so mad at mom because, like, I'm evil, whatever, because I'm mom and they're teenagers, they're going to call them. But you know what? They're going to give them dang good advice. And they're going to say their mama loves them and that I only care, and they're going to be behind my back. And I think friends like that are hard to find. And the gift that Nerium gave us was that. And if we hadn't been on that trip, then like just what that's going to look like in the lives of raising our children is it's just totally different. So, I mean, that's kind of my story. I won't cry anymore. So if you're a new brand partner and you want to go on the Nerium cruise with us, stand up. That's what we're all doing. It's the same thing. Nick and I were able to win a contest trip, and it was only one winner, to go on a dream building trip with Mark and Tammy Smith, top earners in our company. The contest was to take a picture of your Nerium U after a conference in Dallas. And I love like creative and Photoshop and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, oh, I can make a really cute picture. So that's what made me do it. We took a picture at our Nerium U. And the contest was like Facebook likes. Me and my husband stayed up for like 2 nights emailing everybody that we knew. Like all we knew is that we wanted to hang out with Mark and Tammy. It was just like, we don't even know what a dream trip is or a dream building trip is. We just want to be with Mark and Tammy. But that night, we were actually in Southern California during the Super Bowl. And Mark was like, I'm sorry that we had you guys do this on Super Bowl weekend. We don't know if you're sports fans. And I'm like, well, have you met my husband? we would just want to soak it all in. But we actually got to go to Jeff Olson's house for Super Bowl party. Yeah, his house in Redondo Beach, California, this gorgeous home. We pull up, and I was thinking, like, maybe he's not even there. Like, maybe it's like just a Super Bowl party at his house. And we walk in, sure enough, he's there, in his flip-flops, t-shirt, just like how Jeff Olson does it, and had like tons of people at the house, and we were all hanging out, and Jeff and Mark kind of walked off, we were talking for a bit, and then Jeff came back in, and these 3 girls walked in that were gorgeous. And Tammy immediately goes and starts talking to him, and she goes, "Hey, can you come over here? I want you to tell him your story." And I was like, "Is she prospecting?" So I go over, and I'm like starting to talk to him. Then Mark comes back out, grabs the magazine. He's like, "Hey, yeah, our story, this and that," and all this stuff. So I'm talking to him. And then Jeff walks back out, and Mark like immediately jumps back and puts the magazine back up on the counter. And I was like, "That's so weird. Mark does what we do. He goes to parties to grow his business. Like, this is so amazing." Like, Mark Smith recruits, but it was like weird. It was like I was seeing it. I was seeing Mark and Tammy do what me and Nick do when we go to like social gatherings and stuff. And so I was cracking up. And then as we were like getting ready to leave, he was like, Tammy, don't give me the magazine." And like Joe was back in the other room. And I was just, that for me just like changed my business. It was like, okay, wow, that's what New Brand Partners is all about. The fact that the top earner in our company is at a Super Bowl party at our CEO's house, handing out magazines, doing like, hey, can you share your story? And then maybe we shouldn't do this like while he's watching at his house. And so that was a true story. And then as they were leaving, they were getting the girl to come to the market party on Tuesday night. The girl that took the magazine. So.
But the coolest thing about the whole thing is that Jeff did witness it. Jeff did see it, and he went up and gave a couple little things. The 2 takeaways I took from that is number 1, they said little, third party, and Mark and Tammy could have closed her there on the spot, but it's just a little bit exposure. Jeff actually finally said something. He walks back, and I'm just kind of sitting there, kind of leeching over, trying to learn a little bit. The coolest thing of the whole thing is that Jeff came over. He's like, everybody out there, they need help. They need something better in life. He's like, that's what we're here for. And that's why the New Brand Partners, why everybody gets so excited, because that's what we want to do. We want to find that one person that we can just change something just a little bit. And so to be celebrated, the people that we celebrate the most really are the New Brand Partners. Jeff Olson did a call 2 weeks ago on the corporate update call. That's what we celebrate. That's what's so exciting about this business. So,
yeah.
Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, that really is truly what it's all about. It's like lives changed, people impacted by something so much bigger than you. Like you get started out and you're like, what do you want? And then when you see that you can get one thing that you want, whether it's like a trip or the car or whatever, all you care about is like, oh my gosh, I can help somebody just do what I just did. And you look back and you're looking for people that maybe aren't even looking, but it's so rewarding to stand next to the person that you're like, I already know what's going to happen to your life because I know that you can do it, because I know so many people that have done it, and that's worth me sharing just with everybody. Like, it is for everybody. Okay, so if you did 40 points, and I always say when I do recognition, not if you think you did 40 points, but if I see you stand up, then I can follow you to the back of the room, you can whip open your planner, and I can see what they were. Kind of 40 points, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Please stand up. That's what everybody's shooting for. I hope if you get one thing is to go do that. Like, that's really what really is the driving force. If you've done it for a whole month, stand up again, because we have to give you 2. Okay, so next month, everybody can do that. Everyone in the whole room is going to stand up at the same time. How cool would that be? Now, if you're a builder bonus qualifier, I always laugh because you don't have to say what that is, because if you've done it, you know why you wanted it. So you're getting 250 bonuses every single time you help somebody get started the right way. So stand up if you're a builder bonus qualified. $250 for doing what we would have already done anyways. How cool is our company? Senior brand partners, please stand up. This means that you're getting your team cranking. You got a team of 3. Now you're looking at the new earns your free iPad, please stand up. Yeah. Awesome. Earn an iPad. I kind of confused people, but director or got the free iPad. So now if you've earned your Lexus bonus, whether you have a car or not, please stand up. Okay, so here's one thing I have to say, looking at the group of people that stood up. You would never think that your guy friend who is single or your boss who is a man would want to be a part of a skincare company, but you just saw that they do. So you need to go ahead and share them. One of the key takeaways when I went to Cabo is that half the people were men, and I'd never even talked to a man about the business besides my husband. I had a huge team of women, just like me, and so I left that whole trip and I'm like, men are smart, men are driven, men are business-minded, and why in the world have I not talked to a man about this? And so I just had to take note, seeing the room of Lexus earners, a lot of them were men, so that's exciting. Executive directors. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is a really excited group of 1, 2, 3, 4 people. They can't sleep at night. Can you sleep very good? Okay, can you sleep very good? Okay, I'm just checking. We're all on the same page. I know all the executive directors on my team are just like hair on fire. That's all they can think about. They just are like just going berserk. Regional marketing directors, please stand up. These can't sleep either because they're shopping for swimsuits. Just kidding. So regional marketing directors are just one step away from a $50,000 bonus and get to go to Cancun. And if there's one thing that will accelerate your business, now you've heard me say it for the 5th time, it's being there. And I suggest having less fun and learning from the amazing people that will share with you their stories, their experiences, and you can't leave that trip. We hit NMD the month after the trip. So we spent a week of our month in Mexico, unplugged from our team because we didn't even have service, and hit NMD that month, the 2 weeks that we came home after it, because we were on fire. I was like, if those people can do it, I can do it. If those people are there, I want my team with me next time. Like I was ready to go make it happen. So if you're looking at live better bonuses, we call them live better longer bonuses now because when I left the trip to Cabo and told my husband that I'm going to get a $25,000 bonus and we're going to do this business full time, now it's 50. What would you do to have a $50,000 bonus? The biggest bonus I'd ever had was a $50 tip. After I gave somebody, a 2.5 hour or 3 hour service. So a $50,000 bonus will absolutely change your life and will give you what I call safety. I mean, the feeling of true happiness is, for your family, is security. And very few people experience that in the professional world. And I was crying on the stage when I saw these numbers, not because necessarily the dollar amounts, but just the security and safeness that my family would experience for the rest of our time on earth and probably take care of generations to come. Because these live better bonuses are combined. So our ones used to be you got 25, if you earn the next one, then it was all accumulative, and by the end, the Gold International Marketing Director bonus was $1 million, and that was the most that you were going to receive. So if you're brand new here and you're like, I'm so far from ever thinking that I would get a $50,000 bonus, it would be worth working from now for the next 30 years, showing up to a monthly regional, doing 8 points a day, because it's like $2.87 million at that point. Would it matter how long it took you? Can you go find any other guarantee outside of those doors that if you did a few small activities and helped other people do the same thing, that you would have that type of guarantee? I mean, it is ridiculous. We have a lot of smart people that have had success in different areas of business, and there's a lot of ways that you can invest your time and money, but we don't really, we are not looking, okay? So if you're sitting in this room, that's what you can do. So I love to kind of spend time on that. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You know, a multiple $1 million security net, not to mention all the money you're making on top of that. I mean, I don't know, $200,000 a month, I guess, gold IMD minimum. I don't know. At that point, do you need a $2.87 million? Nick's shaking his head. You always, I mean, it's go take care of something else. Create a dream bigger. Foundation, churches, they cost a lot of money. You know, I don't think any of us think really, really big enough. So, national marketing directors, if you received your $50,000 bonus and you want to help other people do it, please stand. These people have really done amazing things, helped a lot of people, changed lives, get chills when they get to go see another person on their team, fast start qualified, get an iPad. I mean, it never, like, one of my friends said, does it ever get old? And I'm like, what could get old about what we do? I mean, I cry at the end of every month. It never fails. The end of the month, midnight, I'm like, look what we do. Like, lives changed. It's been a ton of fun. So national marketing directors get the title and a silly name tag, but all it is that we just care and we haven't given up. You know, we showed up another month later and another month later and kept sharing, and then that puts you up to this point where somebody asks you to come tell your story in front of the room. Keep going? Okay. 90 days of day and night, a couple promotions before we take our break. 3 consecutive months on Nerium 80, day and night. The day becomes free for customers. This has helped our retention. It's helped results. It's helped just the excitement that customers get by getting a free product for the rest of their life. That doesn't exist in the regular market. We're having a ton of fun sharing that. I've talked so much about Cancun, but there's just a pretty picture of where we're going with all of these executive directors and up. The qualifications basically are changed a little bit, so I'll just run through those slides. Long Beach Convention, I'm going to tell this in 30 seconds. You'll never know where you're going with Nerium until you go to something like this. My first one happened to be when I'd been a brand partner for 2 weeks. Some people it takes them 6 months because these only come around like every once in a while, but one came up. I'd been a brand partner for 2 weeks. I sat in the chair, I cried, and I texted my husband and I said, this is it. This is it. Really excited about where we're going. Don't know who's going to be on my team. I had nobody on my team at that point, but I was really excited about where our future was at. And most people go at some point in their business, and sometimes they miss the one when they were first, and somebody says, you just gotta go, it's gonna change your life. One of my brand partners said, I don't really know about, like, you told me it was gonna change my life. And kind of rolled her eyes when we were getting back on the plane. She's like, it was a lot of fun. I don't know about changing my life. She called me 3 months later bawling, saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It has changed my life forever. I've been forever grateful for you. So this is something that you have to be a part of. Not to mention Long Beach is like not a bad place to have to go for a work trip. We actually had one there this last season, and Long Beach was awesome. So you need to get your tickets now, though, because they're actually already selling out. It's a very small venue for how big our company and how fast it's growing is. So if you're here in the room right now, you need to buy that ticket probably today. I wouldn't wait any longer. There's a couple of different prices. Whichever one works for you, just go ahead and lock down a ticket right now. So I am going to, am I having you guys come up before the break or after?